after we've done using Word, we're going to talk about Outlook. And this should be very fresh because we're going to go over this in class before we add everything to the manual. But we're going to enter a new heading. And this is an email. So I want to, an email app, I should say. So I'm going to double tap that. And again, I'm going to make that its own heading. Okay, and I have email in parentheses simply because I want to remind myself what Outlook is for. Okay, first we're going to start with vocabulary specific to email, and I'm having a hard time spelling. Okay, and I'm going to make that a subheading. So heading 1. Nope, I lied. I want to make that heading 2. Okay, and again, we're going to use bullets. So I'm going to go back up to that bullet function right under the word view and choose a particular style. For the heck of it, I'm going to choose these 4 little dots. And there's a series of words. I'm going to type them in here. And once I'm done typing them, I'm going to go back and give you definitions for them. If you are in class with me, it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to type them, and then we're going to do some definitions together. Remember, the goal is to paraphrase. Do not copy mine word for word or look them up on the internet and copy them word for word. They need to be written so you understand them. Okay, so the first word we're going to talk about is folders. And when I type folders, I'm going to hit the colon, and then I'm going to hit return. And here's something interesting with Word. If I hit tab, that's going to indent, and it's going to change my bullet style, which shows that this is kind of a subcategory of folders. And there are 3 different types of folders that we're going to talk about. The first is the inbox. I'm going to type that and hit return. Then the sent folder. Type that, hit return. And then draft. Type that, hit return. And then I'm going to hit delete. I lied. I'm not going to do that. I'm learning here. I'm going to hit return twice. So go back to, right after the word draft, hit return twice, and that takes you back to that first formatting. The next word that we're going to talk about is the email address, or the next phrase, I should say. After that, we have the to function. We have the CC function. We have the BCC function. We're going to have the subject box. We're going to have the body of the email. We're going to have the signature of the email. We're going to have attach. And then we're going to have an insert link terminology. Okay. So again, I'm going to type those, and then you guys are going to listen and then paraphrase your own definitions. Okay. So I'm going to go back up, and for folders, this is a system. I'm going to type in that line right there. Listen, and you're going to pause and paraphrase. A system of organization for received messages. Pause and paraphrase. Inbox is the folder that everything is delivered to by default. Pause and paraphrase. Sent is the folder that saves every message that you send. I'm going to pause so you can paraphrase. The draft folder is where, as soon as you start a new message, it will save automatically in the draft until you send it. So if you get interrupted when you are creating a message, it's a nice fail-safe to have that there. Pause and paraphrase. Next, we have the email address. So this is going to have the username or user handle, usually followed by the @ symbol, which if you're looking at your keyboard would be the little symbol above the number 2, and then followed by the domain name or server name. So that would be, for example, brice@nkasd.com. NKASD stands for New Kensington Arnold School District. So that is who serves the server that provides the email. Next, when I'm in an email and I'm composing it, there is a box that has the word to. This box serves as the place where I would put the email address or addresses to the people I want to read the email that I'm addressing the email message to. You might have more than one that you are talking to, and that's okay. However, if I am wanting to include somebody else, but I'm not necessarily talking to them, there are two different functions that I can use to do that. I'm going to pause so you can paraphrase the to function. Next is CC. And again, you're listening so you can put this in your own words. This stands for carbon copy. And I use this function when I want to make sure somebody else is seeing that I sent an email, so they have a copy of it, but they are not meant to reply to it. Pause and paraphrase. Next is BCC, and this is blind carbon copy. And a blind carbon copy is similar to a carbon copy insofar as I am sending the same message to multiple people. But what BCC does is that it erases or hides, more is a more accurate term, it hides the email addresses and contact information of everybody. So when they get it, they only see the message, they don't see anybody else's email address. So this is a way to respect privacy so you're not sharing contact information with strangers. Pause and paraphrase. The subject box when you're composing an email, it's usually going to be 2 to 3 words, and it's a brief description of why you're writing. It's important to always fill that in because sometimes people get a lot of emails and they need to know, to be able to easily scan so they can find what they're looking for. Pause and paraphrase. The next word is the body of an email. So that is basically my message. Everything that I'm putting into the message is this in the big box where I type everything, and that is called the body of the email. Pause and paraphrase. The signature in email is at the end of the body, and you can either create this every time you send one, or you can create a default signature that will attach to all of your emails. And this should be, for personal reasons, your name. For professional reasons, you might want to have your name, your professional title, and contact information if you want them to be able to get in touch with you. Pause and paraphrase. Next, we have the word attach. And an attachment is when you want to include information that is in a different kind of file, and a file that is more easily downloaded or easily read because it's formatted a certain way. I would attach the file to the email. Pause and paraphrase. And lastly, we have insert link. There's a way to, and actually in the context menu that you're looking at right now, there's a way to insert a link or create a hyperlink, which means I would highlight a series of words and I would tap where it says link. I'm not going to do that now. And it would put nice and neatly a link to an outside source that they could reference if they need to. Pause and paraphrase.